Yeah, yeah. But I still think getting on this issue of what's his name? Vegas beer sales Jerry, his
Yes.
affidavit. Yeah,
Let me scoot
I,
over
I feel
here.
like that issue should be just brought up in
In their
their
motion
argument for
practice.
the
Yeah.
motion. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it just seems kind of weird because that has to do with his credibility. So putting it in this sort of weird letter directly to the judge seems a little out of place
So
to me.
I do agree that a judge might find this to be too aggressive. So this was actually brought up in some of the defense motions. The identical affidavits was brought up in the defense motions. So these
Yeah,
points are actually discussed within the lawsuit itself. I believe that the reason that this was put into this letter, or at least to me, it seems like the reason that this was put into this letter is specifically because this new video had come to light where Vegas beer sales Jerry specifically states, I signed whatever affidavit the lawyer gave me. And that is concerning. And that makes for a very non credible witness. And we talked about the lovely Lickum Lisa before with the Afro Man case. I feel like Vegas Bigger Sales Jerry is kind of that in this scenario where we're saying we don't necessarily have a credible witness. And do I think that Danny's tactic on bringing this information to the judge was perfect? I think it was a risky tactic. I will say that. I think that sending it in a letter is a little bit peculiar, but he obviously thought that this was important information for the judge to see. And because it was a newer revelation, he wanted to get it under the judge's nose immediately. And again, as I mentioned before, both of John's two attorneys, both Tabor Benedict and Bennett Susser, had a copy of this letter before it went to the court and didn't
yeah.
object to this.
Yeah, didn't he even respond?
Yeah,
Allegedly. Yeah.
allegedly.
And I
Yeah.
mean, and I have to admit it is very catchy because how often do judges get filings or correspondence with this like colorful image of a funny video with John's face on it? That does catch your
And
attention to spotlight it more. Yeah.
and a comment from a user named Tongue Punch My Fart Box. I mean, you don't see that every day in your legal filings. Of course,
Oh my gosh.
we do have to mention that this video does come to us from the absolutely one. Oh, is this one? No, this isn't the one from
Where's
Dabble
that?
and Doofus. I lied. I
Okay.
is this the Devlin? There's a Devlin Doofus one and there's a Husey one in here. I don't even remember
Oh,
which is which, but
okay.
yeah, we get to see these very exciting videos that all mean so much to us. The idea of one day a judge saying in a court ruling based upon the commentary in the video where Tongue Punch My Fart Box sent in a super chat and Vegas beer sales Jerry responded to stuttering John Millette. The idea of that being in court paperwork is like the happiest thing that has ever happened
Well,
to me.
I mean, it
It's
does bring
horrible.
some levity to the legal realm.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is
Is there
$5. Thank you so much, Voltaire. John is a filthy bum, and this lawsuit is nonsense. But including a fake arbitration screenshot was an unnecessary hack move by Carl and Shuli's attorney. I agree that there is definitely some challenges within this letter. And I have always kind of made the argument if a judge wakes up on the right side of the bed and he's seen the interest and humor in things, maybe he'll enjoy this letter. And if the judge is maybe a little bit more no nonsense, maybe he's going to think that this letter from Carl and Shuli's attorney is too aggressive.
I mean, let me be contrary here. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't call it a hack move because in this situation you can tell that Savalos is very annoyed with the lack of response repeatedly from John's attorneys. So, I mean, at least he did give the whole caveat that, hey, this is from some Reddit website and this is a community of pranksters. So I don't know if it's true or not, but this could be why I can't hear from John's attorneys. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the judge responds to it. Hopefully
We
he
will
has a
definitely
sense
see how
of
the judge
humor.
responds.
Yeah.
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 And I would argue also to support you on this one, Miss Judy, and maybe to take it a slightly different step, I would call it a hack move to not respond to a draft of this letter. And at least
Yeah.
according to Danny, neither of John's two attorneys responded at all. And I have always been taught that in a professional setting, if there is some reason that I cannot respond to an email in a quick amount of time, that I should respond to that email and say, "Hello, I'm letting you know I'm in receipt of your email. Please allow me a couple of additional days in order for me to review it and get back to you." And
Yeah.
based on Danny's allegations within this letter, it doesn't sound like either one of them did that. I think if either one of them had done that, maybe we wouldn't have ever seen the light of day for this letter.
Yeah, that's so true because in in regular practice, you do want to have some sort of collegiality with other attorneys. So it's
Yes.
pretty common for people to just pick up the phone and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't get a hold of my client, or I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to do blankety blank, or, you know, I'm totally swamped this week. I'll get back with you next week. You
Yeah.
don't just ignore them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Or I'm on vacation with the love of my life, Natalie. I mean,
Natalie
we
to
could say
Europe.
anything. We could say anything. Well, I know that you had, so of course, let me kind of skip back over. So when it came to the affidavits, again, you kind of pointed out that this is a little bit of a peculiar way for us to bring up an issue like this within the court systems. But I do think that within this letter, one of the most important things is that, again, the defense team is trying to get something in front of the judge's nose. The defense team is saying, why isn't this moving forward? And to me, that shows a great deal of confidence when it comes to Danny Savalos representing both Carl and Shuli. Would you kind of agree that that is what a letter like this reads as, even if you don't
Yeah.
necessarily agree with all the content that's in it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is good because he's showing the judge that he's the only attorney involved who is actually with it and keeping
Yeah.
track of the case and trying to be efficient and push it through.
Yeah.
So, he does have a YouTube channel. Did you know
Yes.
that?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But, just my experience, but doing serious legal topics doesn't grow a YouTube channel. So, so maybe he needs to start doing Dabbleverse stuff in the future once this case is over.
Listen, I got to tell you, there is nobody that I would like to listen to more than Danny talking about all of this. I hope that whenever DabbleCon 3 happens, that he will be at least one of the attendees, but more ideally on a panel at some point, because
Yeah.
his opinion and his behind the scenes knowledge of things will be very, very interesting once this case is over.
Yeah. It
Um,
sounds like he has tons of experience and he speaks
yes,
well. So that's
yes,
wonderful.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't have too much more to say about this letter. Would you like to talk about any other aspects of it? And if not, I know you sent me some random notes, and I was
Yes. Yes.
interested if
Because
you
I
wanted to
feel
go
like
over those.